Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to our presentation on the Edmonton roads. I'm Joel, and I'll be starting us off. In a little bit, you'll hear from the rest of the team as we take you through a brief snapshot of this system, its contributing factors, and some potential ways forward. To give some context to our goals and motivation behind this project, let's discuss our main research question and some of the thought process that got us here. So our research question reads as quote, "To what extent are the conditions and actions that dictate road quality in Edmonton definable and susceptible to change?" So we began with this statement to reflect the common understanding of Edmonton roads amongst all Edmontonians, while focusing on the qualitative and quantitative factors that lie beneath the surface. For instance, everyone knows that construction slows traffic. But to what extent can we define the causes of construction, and how can we measure this factor's propensity to change? So now that we have some context, I'll briefly run through an executive summary of the following sections. So our main purpose behind this assignment is to present the system in an easily digestible format that can serve as an accessible guide for what is an otherwise complex issue. What we found in our research is that while there are many significant opportunities to change, some undesirable contributing factors to the Edmonton roads, such as weather and geography, are unavoidable. Furthermore, an important note to make is that government action towards this system is largely focused on repairs and short-term solutions, while also failing to keep up with public needs for transportation relative to population growth. What all this means is that unfortunately there are no easy ways to improve the system. Change must come from empowering several different distinct areas that contribute to the system.
Hi, my name is Darren Shillington, and I'll be telling you about some key aspects of our project. First off is the amount of drivers in 2025 in Edmonton and the Edmonton areas. First off, there is over 830,000 drivers in Edmonton. There is over 270,000 in the surrounding communities, and combined, that's over 1.1 million drivers in the Edmonton area. Next is the key issues. As for the three main issues, one of them is maintenance. A lot of maintenance has to be done on the roads to keep them running. Between potholes, between street cleaners, between general maintenance and snow plows, a lot of work has to be done to keep our roads in shape. Next is weather. Everyone knows Edmonton's weather is just horrible. Between the freeze-thaw cycle, all the snow we get, all the rain we get, our roads are just an absolute mess. Next is construction. Construction seems to take place year-round, even though there's workers only there half the year. It's an absolute mess that blocks up our roads and keeps traffic just at an absolute standstill. Lastly, for me, why this issue is a complex issue. Edmonton roads are a complex issue because there's not one simple solution that can fix this. There's many different aspects, and a lot of potential solutions do not account for all the different aspects. At the end of the day, you can't control weather. You cannot control the amount of roads that will need to be repaired, at least not too much. The city budgets, as much as we'd like to think they're infinite, they are not. And as much as we want to stop the construction from being 24/7, Edmonton needs the construction to continuously grow. So that is why this is a complex issue.
Now we'll be looking at the current systems in which the City of Edmonton uses to address potholes, snow removal, and road construction. For potholes, the city uses a mix of 311 for citizens reporting potholes as they pop up, as well as an AI tool called Repair, which was developed by the city and implemented in January 2024, which takes the 6 years previous data, as well as all input from 311 to help predict future potholes and streamline the process of filling in the current ones. The goal for the city is to have all high priority potholes looked at within 2 days and filled within a week. These are potholes on major roads or just larger potholes. Other potholes are considered low priority, but they're still looked at within 5 days and filled within a month. The city has a target to hit 80% of potholes within this time frame. However, during the Q4 2025, only 68% was hit during that time frame. Why is this? It's possible that the unpredictable and harsh weather, including the freeze-thaw cycle, which kept creating more and more potholes before we could fill in other ones, is the issue. For snow removal, the city aims to have all major roads looked at within 24 to 48 hours and have snow removed on them to be properly plowed and salted. Secondary roads within the week, and then communities as soon as possible after that. However, there's a lack of communication between the city and citizens as to where snowplows will be at what times, especially when there's parking bans in place, similar to what happened in the January 2026 snowfall, where there's a parking ban for phase 2, which citizens didn't know about due to lack of signage or chose to ignore, leaving large windrows behind when they went through communities because there were so many cars on the road they couldn't do a proper job. Construction. In previous years, there's been large amounts of construction on the roads, with over 200 projects are being worked on during summer 2025. This creates a lot of frustration from commuters because the city has to upgrade projects and we don't have that many months due to the winter here. And under the new mayor, Andrew Knack, they're prioritizing less projects, but working on main and critical infrastructure with only 109 planned for 2026, hoping that it will cause less frustration and disruption in traffic flow.
Hello, my name is Sesson Waldo, and I'll be covering gaps and leverage of change. This section focuses on identifying key gaps and leverage points within the ROAD system in Edmonton. We look specifically at how population growth and government funding interact within the system. Using a systems thinking approach, we identified where the system is falling short and where meaningful change can happen. We managed to identify 4 key system gaps. First, government funding is reactive, meaning it focuses on fixing problems after they occurred rather than preventing them. Second, infrastructure is not keeping up with population growth, which increases pressures on roads. And third, there is a strong reliance on personal vehicle, leading to more congestion and road damage. And finally, limited collaboration between sectors reduces efficiency and slows innovation. These gaps have important consequences. They lead to increased traffic congestion and longer commute times. Roads are also deteriorate faster, which increases maintenance needs. As a result, costs become higher over time because reactive repairs are more expensive. Overall, the system becomes inefficient because it focuses on short-term fix instead of long-term solutions. So, what are the levers of change? To address these issues, we identified key levers of change. First, shifting to preventive funding can reduce long-term costs and improve road conditions. Second, integrating urban planning with population growth can help infrastructure keep pace with demand. And third, expanding public transit such as the Edmonton Light Rail Transit can reduce reliance on personal vehicles. And finally, stronger collaboration between sectors can improve efficiency and lead to more innovative solutions. Overall, the challenges in Edmonton's road system are interconnected and systemic. By focusing on these leverage points, the city can shift from reactive approach to more proactive and sustainable system. This would improve efficiency, reduce costs, and better support future growth.
Our project taught us several important lessons, most of which were shaped by the systems mapping approach we used. By applying this method, we were able to break down the complexity of Edmonton's road issues into interconnected components, including climate, infrastructure, funding, and public perception. This helped us recognize that we are not dealing with simple issues, but rather a layered problem that requires layered thinking and multiple solutions. At the beginning of our project, we viewed common road issues like potholes, snow removal delays, and construction inconveniences as mainly operational problems. We assumed that they could be fixed with better maintenance or increased funding. However, through research, we realized that this reflects a surface level understanding of the issue. By applying systems thinking, we were able to move beyond this perspective and analyze the problem more deeply. As our understanding evolved, we discovered that Edmonton's road conditions are influenced by an ongoing interaction between investment, expansion, and most importantly, weather conditions. For example, the freeze-thaw cycles occur multiple times in a year and act as unpredictable forces that continuously damage the roads. This creates constant challenge for city crews who are often struggling to begin with. We also found that communication gaps leave residents unaware of progress and contributes to frustration. These insights shifted our perspective, showing that the issue is not simply neglected maintenance, but rather reoccurring climate-driven damage. Additionally, regional commuting patterns add further strain, making intermunicipal cooperation part of the solution. One of the biggest takeaways from our project was the role of public perception. We learned that an informed public is a cooperative public. While efforts are being made to repair roads, the lack of effective communication creates a disconnect, leading to negative public attitudes and low cooperation, as seen during the parking ban this last winter. Overall, system thinking allows the complex problems to be viewed in a different light. By examining interconnections between climate, infrastructure, and governments, as well as public perception, more realistic, sustainable solutions can be found. This project taught us that both data and lived experiences must be synthesized to fully grasp systematic problems. Only through such a holistic approach can long-term change be achieved.